What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, QTheQueen, back at it. I was just gonna say I'm looking at myself, y'all. Sorry, and I can't stop. Back at it again with you, with another one. So as you can see by the title of this video, we about to talk. We're about to get into it. So the only reason why I'm making this video, well, it's not the only reason. There's multiple reasons. I'm telling y'all two reasons. The number one reason why I decided to make this video is because some recent events had just been brought to my attention, and so it kind of just like childhood memories just started flooding in about this time of my life. And honestly, y'all, I probably pushed a lot of these memories out of my head because I was traumatized, and y'all not even gonna know. Y'all gonna be like, the most traumatizing part isn't even about like what I experienced, but more about what I was experiencing and how it made people around me feel. That was the most traumatizing part. So another reason why I'm making this video, y'all, is because I have recorded a whole story time, and I was really diving deep into my business. And I'm very open. I'm a very open book, and I have told y'all a lot of my business on here already. Just by through my woman to woman. A lot of that stuff was from personal experiences. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. I really didn't write down no notes. I didn't come with like a thing. This is probably gonna end up being a multiple story series because there's a lot that happened from here until now. I won't be mentioning any names because a lot of my family is involved, so we'll probably just come up with names along the way if necessary. Because like I said, I'm just winging this. Oh, y'all, I was saying, did I even finish telling y'all? I'm tired, y'all. Let me put it out there. I just got off work. It's 7, about to be 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just got off work. I work overnight, so I'm really tired. But it was on my heart, so I said I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out the way. But what I was saying was that the second reason why I was making this was because I ended up recording a lot of story times, and I was telling a lot of my business, and I felt like I was getting too into it, so I deleted it because it's not just about me, it's about other people who are involved, and I didn't want nobody to feel any type of way. But I just did a card reading. Shout out to Shanetta, y'all. I only watched 2 people on here. I don't really indulge in card readings like I did maybe when I first like came across them. Even then, I still kind of had like it was only like when I had a question type of thing that I couldn't figure out for myself. But I do like to watch her monthly readings, and I keep getting the same message from her and the other person I watch, which is Kino Tarot readings. I think that's her name. And if y'all don't know, it's Divine Shanetta. Those are 2 people I watched if you're interested in something like that. And both of them gave me the same message that I need to get out my own way, and I need to start telling my stories because my stories are unique, and a lot of my stories are different, and I have a lot of different point of views from a lot of people, and they said there's people out there who need to hear me. And so it was just crazy that Shanetta has said that when I literally had just deleted that story time yesterday. I was like, and then I also deleted it too because that's a story that I really need to sit down and get up in y'all face. And I was at work telling the story, so it was a lot of choppy going on, and I was like, this is gonna be too much editing. So that's another reason why I deleted it. Let's go ahead and get into this. So when I was a kid, before I honestly had regulation, is that the word? Of anything. Like a lot of these things that happened I can recall, but also some of them are like what people told me. So we're gonna start from the beginning of time. QTheQueen came out the cooter. Well, I actually didn't come out a cooter. I actually was a C-section baby, and I like to brag about that because I ain't have to go through the cooter. I just came straight from the uterus. Okay? And I used to brag about that, like, you're a cooter baby, and I ain't. So yeah, I came out the uterus, straight from the uterus, slit, cut open. I was too big. She couldn't push me out. And on February 11th, And that alone to me is very significant because my birthday is on the 11th. I would like to think that from birth I was gifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a kid. So we're gonna start with me, although this story doesn't start with me, and y'all are gonna understand that the further I tell the story. So as a child, I would like to say no one ever really went. Sorry y'all, it's a freaking gnat. And sorry y'all, my background, like I said, this was on a whim. Usually I'll come correct, but I ain't coming correct. Okay, we're coming like this. What was I gonna say? Oh, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel before we go ahead and get into all of it. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you're interested. I will be dropping more stories on my ghostly experiences. I know a lot of people don't believe in ghosts and they don't believe in them type of things. And don't get up on here calling me evil. And I don't want to hear that. I heard enough of that when I was a kid. Go on somewhere. You will get blocked. This was something that I couldn't control. It was not in my control. I was literally a kid. I was innocent. Like I was an innocent child. The place that I live now, I was not originally born. I was not originally born here. I was born somewhere. Sorry, I'm trying to kill this nigga. Oh, you're getting on my nerves. Did you just? I wasn't born here. So all this, the beginning of the story happened in a whole different town, y'all. And when I say that, y'all gonna see why I'm like emphasizing that. What I remembered as a kid was my brothers teasing me for playing with something that nobody could see but me. And I think I remember asking my mom, like, well, like I was just telling her, like, nobody ever wanted to play with me. You know, I remember them saying, go play with, disclaimer, before I say this, I'm not even going to say the name, I'm going to spell it out. Because, let me just say this. Whatever this is and whoever you are, whatever, you're not allowed to come and mess with me, and you're not allowed to mess with anybody who's watching this video. And if that makes you scared to click off this video, then go ahead and click off. But you're safe here. Nothing's gonna happen. I just say that because I've learned that whenever I mention this without speaking protection over me first, that this thing that still lingers, it tries to find its way back. If I don't say you're not allowed. So we'll wrap that up. Sorry, y'all, this is real. So yeah, I remember telling my mom, like, nobody ever wants to play with me. Like, they always used to say, go play with B.O.B. And so at the time that all this was happening, my favorite show as a kid was Bob the Builder. Now, I'll say that because they ain't got nothing to do with B.O.B. And so my mom, I guess we'll kind of correlate everything. So this is what my mom told me. She was like, I was like, who is that? And she was like, well, we thought you were playing with B.O.B. because you used to love to watch Bob the Builder. So we thought that when you would mention that name, that it was just like your child mind associating a friend with Bob the Builder. Y'all, to this day, I will not watch Bob the Builder. Like, if I see something about it, I'm scrolling past it. I would never share it because they traumatized me. So, hold on, let's let the dumpster pass. It's very loud. It's right directly behind my house. So this is when I asked that. My mom began to tell me, well, when you were a kid, you used to play with someone and you used to call them B.O.B. And like I said, at first, we thought you were just correlating that with Bob the Builder because you're a kid, imagination, whatever. But when we realized this is not your imagination, we got you blessed and we had our house blessed. So I was like, well, what made you realize that it wasn't because they used to say it was my imaginary friend. That's what they used to call it, imaginary friend. Because that was like the thing. If a kid is talking to somebody or something you can't see, it's an imaginary friend. Y'all, get some holy oil and pray over your child and bless your house. because it's not an imaginary friend. There's nothing imaginary about your child sitting there having a full-blown conversation with something you cannot see. That is no such thing as a child being able to imagine something like that. Oh, I'm answering questions you can't hear. That doesn't make sense. How is that imagination? Y'all are crazy. This is scary. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell is my kid talking to? I can't see. So he's like, so as she was telling me that, I started to remember, like, okay, I used to always hear imaginary friend, imaginary friend, imaginary friend, imaginary friend, Q's imaginary friend, Q's imaginary friend, imaginary. I do now. They started like coming back to me, and she was like, well, what made us realize that it wasn't an imaginary friend was when one time we came home. And y'all, was so crazy as I remember this. Like, when she started telling me, I started finishing the story. She was like, one time we came home and you were like, look, mommy, look, mama. And I'm looking like, look at what? And you're like, up there. Like, so at our house where we were living in the town that we were living in at the time, it had arches in the, like an arch in the, like, so you're like, okay, from my memory, because the way I remembered this house as a kid, when I got into the house, it didn't look nothing like that. So this is still how I remember it. But it's like when you walk in, it's kind of like a little breezeway, and then it's like a hallway to your right, 2 rooms and the bathroom, and then once you pass that, it's an arch. And she said I was pointing up at that arch, and I was like, B.O.B. is up there. B.O.B. is up there. And she said, like, to hear me giggling and laughing like I'm playing with somebody that she can't see was different. But to actually point out that, I'm like, he's crawling on the ceiling. I'm like, he's crawling. You don't see him? Like, to say that, she said that is what really freaked her out. I was like, he's crawling on the ceiling. You don't see him? He's crawling. And then she said that, and so I started finishing, like, I remember I was saying, he was like, look, and she said, yeah, and you were like, he's crawling. Now, I didn't remember saying all that, like, he's crawling, he's crawling. So when she said that, I had another memory, and she said she also did remember this, and this is another thing that freaked her out. She said that one time I had a ball, and I was, trying to, like, if you sit across from somebody, you just pass the ball, y'all just roll the ball back and forth. That was a huge thing as a kid when I was growing up. Kids don't really do that no more. Remember, I told her, like, I was like, I remember that. I don't remember nobody sitting in front of me, but I do remember saying, pass it back, pass it back. And she said, yeah, you didn't just say that, though. Like, she was like, you got up and was like, this is how you do it. Like, I'm trying to show B.O.B., like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And she said that nothing was happening while she was watching, so she looked away. And then she said as soon as she, like, just glanced back, she saw the ball. Like, I rolled it, and then she saw it roll back to me. And I said, yay! Like, I'm praising it. Like, yay, yeah, you did it. And she said she was like, oh, she was like, the arch thing was one thing, but that, she said she was like, hell no. And so she said she started asking me, what does B.O.B. look like? Like, now she's starting to feed into it. What does B.O.B. look like? And she said I told her that he had pointy ears, he had long arms, long fingers, and he was small like me. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, he's small like me. And I'm like, but that's my friend. I'm a kid. I don't know nothing else. So all that happened, right? Some of that stuff I recall, some of that stuff. Some other thing she told me was that I would just, like, chase something. Like I would just play. Like, play. I guess that's why they thought it was, like, innocent, because I'm playing with it. But, of course, if it's a demon, it's going to portray itself to me as a kid. And, of course, it's going to make me play with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a kid. Like, that's how you get me. Playing. And so I may not remember all that too much vividly, but one thing that happened to me that I remember very, 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 very vividly, y'all, was this dream I had. I was young still. So at the time, y'all, I didn't even tell y'all how old I was. We didn't move here until I was 4. So this is all happening between, like, I guess since I could speak like clear sentences, up until I was 4. So probably about 3, maybe like 2, finna turn 3, up until I was 4. So this dream though that I'm about to tell y'all that I had, which it actually wasn't a dream, I thought it was because I was a kid, but as I got older, I'm like, that wasn't no dream. Because my mother and my father got a divorce, and so I just know that this happened like very soon before. And I remember I told my mom this dream, like, that's one thing I do remember. I do remember telling my mama, like, I had a dream, or like, I didn't even tell her it was a dream. I told her, this angel came to get me. Like, that's what I told her. So I would sleep in the bed. I used to sleep in the bed with my mom and my dad because I did not like sleeping in my room. Like, that's one thing I do remember. I do remember that my mama used to put me down for naps in my room, the room that was mine. It was like I just couldn't stay asleep. You know, like, I do remember, like, when she would sneak out, she would always think I was asleep, but I wasn't. Like, I would always watch her sneak out my room. Like, I do remember that. And then eventually I'll fall asleep. So this dream, I would sleep with my mother and my father in their bed. I used to sleep in between them. And I don't know, it could have been a dream, y'all. I don't know. It felt so real. Like, it was a dream, but you know, it wasn't a dream. Like I was, if you believe in, like, you can go different places in your sleep, that's what it was. It was more of like a, oh my God, what do you call it, y'all? Where you could control your dreams. It was more like that. I can't think of the word, and I'm not finna stress myself over because I'm tired. So I'm telling y'all this because if it wasn't for this dream, I would have believed everything everybody told me. Like, if it wasn't for this dream, everything anybody ever said about me in regards to me going through this with the B.O.B., I would have believed them. So I remember this bright red, beautiful curly hair angel came and got me. She had on a beautiful white dress, and the reason why I can validate this dream is because I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. She had on this beautiful white dress, and I don't think she spoke, but it's like it was like telepathy type of thing. Like, she didn't speak, but I heard everything she said. Like, I heard her say, come here. And so I did. And I got on her back. And she didn't have wings, but she could fly. And when I was on her back, it was almost as if I was just like sitting on like a floor or something. Like it was so secure, like I could just sit there like this, you know, or something. Like I wasn't holding on to anything. It was like I was just sitting there like this, like a pretty girl. And I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel anything but grace. Literally, that's all I felt. And so, not too many people know this either, y'all. I never told anybody this. So not too many people know any of this about me, honestly. Only like a select few of people. People who come around me and be like, you got ghosts in it? Ghosts in your house? Probably only know this. And that's not even that many people. I remember telling her I was thirsty, and like I said, she didn't speak, but I remember her saying, do you want a glass of milk? And I said, yes. And we literally flew to the kitchen, and the glass of milk just like appeared in my hand. It's not like she went and made me the glass of milk. Like, we just flew to the kitchen. She flew to the refrigerator, and next thing I know, I had a glass of milk in my hand. And so I don't remember anything she said to me too much after this. I remember she took me into space, and I remember we were flying, and I was just surrounded by a lot of stars. And one thing I do remember her telling me is, y'all, this is the first time as an adult, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry. The first time as an adult that I'm telling this story. Like, I haven't told anybody this as an adult because I want to sound crazy. So I'm trying not to cry, y'all, because it's kind of emotional. I just remember her saying, like, don't forget who you are. That's it. That's it. And next thing I know, I woke up. I feel like she told me a lot more, though, y'all. Like, I feel like as a kid, I probably ran to my mom and was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa," you know, and I know she told me a lot more. I just wish I could remember. Maybe she'll come visit me since I'm telling you guys. I do feel now that I'm older and I've got to learn a lot of things. I do feel like that was my higher self, my angel, my higher self, my close to God self coming back and getting me because I was being attacked. I was under a spiritual attack. But she told me after I told her that I had this dream, there was no more BOB. So she likes to say it was because they did the prayers and blessed, and that's why she came to you, and now you don't see BOB. But I I feel like she was gonna always come and get me. I feel like she was always gonna come and slay those demons for me. You know, I feel like that was my protector. I feel like nobody else saved me but her. That's really how I feel as I got older. But like I said, as a kid, I didn't know any of this. I just ran to my mom, and this angel came and got me, took me to go get some glass of milk, and flew me in the stars. And she was telling me all these things and stuff. And so yeah, my mom was just like, whoa, like y'all tell me why. Maybe like had to been around Christmas time. My mom bought an angel with bright red hair, white dress, and I don't know if she bought it because she seen it and remembered what I told her, or maybe they could have. Honestly, y'all, they could have been had that angel. Because y'all, this is me editing. I'm at work, but I just remembered it wasn't a Christmas ornament. It was around Christmas time though. It was actually, and I think my mama actually still has this Barbie. It was actually a Christmas collectible Barbie. I'm gonna go look and see if I can find it, and I'm gonna insert a picture here. But she was a Christmas collectible Barbie. She was a black Barbie, and she had beautiful, and it's not red, it's actually orange, like a burnt orange red color hair, and yeah, it was Barbie, and she had wings and a beautiful gold, dress, shimmery, all that. So it wasn't an ornament; it was a Barbie. And when I seen the Barbie at the store, that was when I told my mom, "This is her. This is the angel that came to get me. Like this is what she looked like." And then she bought the Barbie, and like I said, she still has it to this day because it's a collectible. So I told her like, she didn't have wings, but this one has wings, like And I was just like, this is crazy, like this is her. And so I remember as a kid, like every time Christmas time came around, I was always looking for that angel. I'm always looking for the angel, I just want to see the angel. And I also remember as a kid, y'all went through a lot of stuff as a kid, so like I feel like they didn't take some of the stuff I was experiencing because of my environment around me. People probably thought it was just like a protection mechanism because I was a child living through domestic violence. I wasn't being domestically violated, but my mother was. And so, they were just trying to factor in a lot of things as to why I'm going through what I'm going through. Assholes. And I'm gonna tell you why I said that. Bitch, fuck y'all. So oh my god, y'all, my wig is down here and I did not know that. I was just like, what the fuck is that? Going through that, every time I acted out or disagreed with an adult who knew this about me, their favorite thing to throw in my face was that I'm evil because I could see B.O.B. You ain't nothing but evil. That's why you had an imaginary friend, because you ain't nothing but evil. Evil. You're evil. That's literally all I heard growing up, y'all. Like, and I'm not gonna cry. It's very triggering for me, y'all. It's very triggering for me because as I got older, I started realizing, like, not y'all calling me evil for something I had no control over. Like, I couldn't help that I was seeing something y'all couldn't see. I can't help that I was interacting and speaking and doing all these things with something I could not see. Hey, this is editing Q. Like, I just want to emphasize the trauma that my family caused me, because they would literally compare me to the Antichrist. Like, the only reason why I even learned who the Antichrist was because they would compare what I was doing as a child to the Antichrist. Like, how inhuman and unchristian like for you guys to look at this innocent child who, y'all, I wasn't a crazy child. It's not like I like did outrageous things. Like, you know how some kids be out here like killing cats and weird stuff like that. It's not like I had any weird thing like that about me. The only thing about me was that I had this imaginary friend, quotation marks. So I just want to emphasize that, like, this is the light they painted me in, not only to me but to people around us and stuff. Like, literally, y'all, people used to look at me like I was evil, and like, that was really hard for me. And to compare me to the Antichrist is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But y'all calling me evil and all these things, that type of stuff sticks with you. Tell y'all some events that led up to um the other day. Because the other day I had a conversation with someone in my family, and it triggered all these memories. It made me feel sad, but also relieved, because it's just like, now I know. Yeah, I cannot believe my family. After hearing that stuff I heard the other day, I just cannot believe them and how they treated me. It almost makes me feel as if y'all just didn't like me just because I was born. Y'all just didn't like me because I was I I was bringing up things that y'all did. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing up things y'all did that had nothing to do with me, and it was like I was making them live in their truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nobody wanted to admit it. Nobody admitted these things, y'all. Like, it's crazy that y'all can sit here 20 years later and finally admit what y'all did, and I can now tie it and say it was y'all's fault. Y'all are the evil ones. So I'm gonna tell y'all this before we get into that though. So later on in life, in probably like third grade, this is crazy. I just told my daughter I don't remember third grade, but this happened in third grade. In third grade, I was invited to a program called Sciences for Girls. And it was happening at this big university. So this is now we moved from that place that I was seeing B.O.B. on the ceiling and stuff to the hometown where my parents are from. And so I got invited to that program. It was happening at a university. Y'all, this is hard to tell y'all this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is hard because I feel like somebody gonna think I'm crazy. But I cannot deny any of these. I wouldn't tell y'all if it was a lie. Like, I would be crazy then if it was a lie. So at this place, I remember feeling like I didn't want to go, because I'm kind of like, for one, I was gonna be by myself, and then I wasn't gonna be by myself, but like I wasn't gonna have nobody that I knew there. Like, I was gonna have to make friends, basically, and I was bullied a lot. So the thought of being somewhere, the thought of being somewhere around new people where I have to make friends as a kid slightly gave me anxiety, because of the fear that I would be bullied while I'm there. But I end up with a nice person as a roommate, and she definitely made it easier to be there because we instantly clicked. She was a Indian girl. I wonder where she's at. That would be crazy if she saw this and was like, it was me. But she was an Indian girl. I do remember her being Indian. I do not remember her name. I do remember having her phone number after she left. I don't even think she was from here. I think she was from somewhere else, and her parents like paid for her to be a part of this program. Because y'all, when I'm telling y'all they had us doing college math, I said, what the fuck is this? And some of them girls knew that shit, y'all. Like, that was the craziest part. That some of those girls knew that shit. Like, you know this shit? What the fuck is it? I barely just learned how to divine. Like, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. I had someone gifted it to me. I don't even know how I got who paid for it, y'all. It was that program was like $900. It was for a week. And they fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, of course, your parents just had to, like, provide money for snacks and stuff like that. But everything else was paid for. And we stayed in the dorms at the university. And the girl, like I said, my roommate, she was super nice, super cool. She was also scared, I guess, because she's Indian, you know. And so she brown, I'm brown. And I think that's one thing that kind of made us, like, we're going to go everywhere with each other. You're brown, I'm brown. But we did end up getting split up because even though we were roommates, we both still had different itineraries and were part of a different color. I want to say they had us like split up through colors. Yeah, like I said, this is a story I've literally only told my mom. This one. So this is something I'm trying to remember as I'm telling y'all from from like 12, 13 years ago. So, I remember we went to go have lunch. I want to say it was lunch. I want to say we went and did like, this was probably like the first or second day there. It could have been the first day because I want to say we went and did like a tour of the campus and then we went to have lunch. So that's probably something you would do on the first day. And me and my friend, my roommate, we met some girls, and not that their race matters, but I am gonna say it just because it was crazy to me that someone like this is happening. Like, they were white girls. And y'all, this is about to be fucking insane. I'm gonna sound crazy, but this happened to me. This is my truth, y'all. This happened to me. At this point, y'all, I'm like I said, I'm third grade. That B.O.B. crap, that B.O.B. mess, at this point, I ain't really had those type of experiences since I saw that angel. The angel came to get me. So it was very wild. So, okay, let's say it like this. So the stuff that happened to me as a kid happened to me as a baby kid, as a toddler. You know, you don't really remember too many things as a toddler besides what people tell you and like the bits and pieces you can put together in between. So that's where I was at with the B.O.B. All I'm remembering is bits and pieces in between and what people told me. So it's not like I was harping on it, or it's not like I was obsessed with it or anything like that. But the one thing I was obsessed with was watching like ghost shows. Like, I've always been the person that watched Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, My Paranormal Story, My Child Died, Had a Past Life, or something like stuff like that. I was always very intrigued with, so I always watched as a young age. Me and my mom watched that together. So to have this experience at an age to where it's like now I can more comprehend was very crazy. But I was still young, but like I could comprehend. You know, it's very crazy. So we went to the cafeteria. We were in there playing. I remember we were playing, I was showing people that I could do a cartwheel. I could do a one-hand cartwheel. I could do a regular cartwheel. I could do a round off. I could do a back bend. I could do splits. Like, that's the stuff we was in there doing. You know, we're all girls, so we're doing girl things. Can you do a splits? Yeah, I can. No, I can do it like this. Can you do this? Like, oh, I can't do that. How did you do that? You know, that's what we were in there doing. We had already ate. And so after that, I want to say we were directed to head back to our dorms, to shower, you know, lights out at a certain time or whatever. So before we went back to go shower, I don't know if I think my friend was with me. And I think that we didn't talk about this because I feel like she was like, this was some shit she ain't never seen. Like, you know, me, I'm more like, this is crazy. But to her, it was like, hell no. You know, we didn't even talk about it. Like, I don't remember even talking about it after it happened. So it was like 3 groups of white girls. And I mean, it was like 3 girls, 3 white girls in a group. And me and my friend, that's who we was talking to, they was like, come back to my dorm. Well, okay, so the friend that the experience happened to, her friend was like, come back to our dorm, come back to our dorm. And she was like, show them. Like, she telling them, show them. And she's like, I don't know if I want to show them. Like, they might think I'm weird and they're like, and she's like, no, you need to show them. Like, show them. Like, y'all come back to our dorm. She's gonna show y'all this. Like, this is crazy. Like, that's what she kept saying. Like, this is crazy. She's gonna show y'all. Like, this is crazy. I was scared, but now I'm like, how are you doing this? And so we go back to her room. And I don't really remember, like, y'all laughing, but this shit ain't funny. That's some crazy shit, okay? So, I remember, like, we were sitting on the bed, and the bed, their dorm was different from ours. Our dorm had, like, the beds was like this, and then the closet, I had a closet in front of my bed, she had a closet in front of her bed, and then the sink was over here, because all we had was a sink. And then, you know, we had to go shower at the shared shower. But theirs was different. They might have had, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been 3 beds in there. That's why it was 3 of them. Because the bed we were sitting on was directly in front. Like, they were twin beds. So the foot of the bed in our dorm was in front of the closet. But in their dorm, we were sitting directly on the bed and we were in front of the closet. So it had to have been 3 beds in there. So, y'all, some of this stuff was like, I ain't gonna lie, some of this stuff that, like, in within the program, I was like getting good treatment, and some people was like, they didn't do me like that, like, type thing. So I'm like, maybe, I don't know, just because I don't know, you know, I'm special. Like, some of them people paid for their kids to be there, and they got roomed with 3 people. And then, like me, who didn't pay, I only had 1 roommate, like, type of thing. So it means our dorm was bigger, we had more space, all that. So, but yeah, their dorm was kind of smaller, and they still had, it was like a bed here. It was kind of like this, and then a bed here, a bed here, a bed here, and they still had the sink to the side, and they only had 2 closets still. So I guess they just threw that bed in there. Maybe they just needed to make space for all the girls. So we're sitting on the bed, and she's like, show them. And she was like, are y'all gonna think I'm weird? Are y'all gonna think I'm weird? And which, granted, y'all, the girl was weird. I remember I think me and her started talking. Y'all just connected this. I'm sorry I made that face. Me and that girl was talking about SpongeBob. I know that for a fact because I loved SpongeBob. And at the time, I wore my SpongeBob outfit to the beginning. So I think that's actually how she caught my attention. She was like, I like your shirt. I love SpongeBob. Now that's crazy, y'all, because don't you hear that at the end? I just thought about that. That is so crazy. I remember telling my mama, like, yeah, we started talking about SpongeBob, and next thing I know, they're telling us to come to their dorm or whatever. Y'all low-key wanted to go home. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So everybody's like, no, we're not gonna think you're weird. We're not gonna think you're weird. I really wasn't even saying nothing, y'all. I'm just really just sitting there watching. Y'all, mind y'all, this is 3rd grade, okay? So I do remember, like, not saying anything. I was very quiet because, like I said, I got bullied a lot as a kid, and so I never really just, like, initiated conversation with people because I was scared of being bullied. And so she was like, tell him. So she was like, okay, I have to say its name, and then I have to tell it what to do. So what do y'all want me to tell it to do? And they were like, what is it? You know, everybody's like, what is it? And the friend was like, I'm just gonna tell y'all, it's a ghost. She has a ghost friend. And everybody's like, yeah, right. You know, everybody's like, ghost friend, what? I'm sitting there like, like, I'm not saying that because I was that. I had a ghost friend too. Like, ghost friend. So I'm like, I wasn't saying it because once she said that, I'm like, and everybody like, go start real, that ain't real, that ain't real. I'm like, because I didn't want nobody thinking I was crazy. And she was like, well, I'm gonna say its name. And then everybody was like, well, tell it to open the closet. If it's a ghost and it's real, tell it to open the closet. Tell it to open the closet. And she was like, okay. So then she said his name. And I'm pretty sure y'all have guessed it. B-O-B. When I tell y'all my neck snapped at her so fucking fast, my heart was racing. I probably started sweating in that bitch. Like, when I tell y'all I was really intrigued and shocked, I like literally sitting there looking at her like, y'all, I could, if I had one of them people who could draw people, I could explain to this person from a memory from 3rd grade to the T on what this little white girl looked like. Like, I could have them draw a picture of her and be like, that is what she looked like. Because that's how vivid I remember this. I remember the doors are brown. The bed is the same color as the doors. They're brown, wooden color, you know, like old school type, because it's a very old university. And so she kept saying, open the closet, do this, do that. And so while she's saying it, y'all, I just remember an overwhelming feeling. Like, I can't tell y'all what I was feeling because I don't know. But it was just like an overwhelming energy. Like, I felt it. So I want to say my friend actually left because she was like, I don't fool around with none of that. Like, I don't, that's not in my religion type thing. So I'm going to leave. Because, Indians respect their religion. I don't know about nowadays, but back then, Indians were stiff on their traditions. They were still walking around with the marks on their heads and stuff like that. Nowadays, you don't really see that. So back then, though, they were still very traditional. So she got up, she left. And so it was just me, the 3 girls, and some other couple of people that they had brought in. And so she was like, she kept saying, open the closet, open the closet. Nothing was happening. I think another person left. Y'all, when I tell you the number started dropping, and it eventually was just like me and them and like one other person. And she finally told that B.O.B. to open the door. She said, open the door, B.O.B. They don't believe me. That closet door opened. It opened. It was like this. Now, y'all see how my closet is cracked? It was literally just like this. She said, push it, open it, push it. Like, she said, it literally went like this. Well, that door floated. I will say that door floated. So this door don't float, but it folded open like, and it just stopped. But when I tell you, even one of the girls that was staying in that room and the other girl took off running and screaming, and I got up because I'm like, what? I swung the door open and they had clothes in there, so I'm like, it was nobody in there. So I just walked out. And well, I didn't walk out. I'm lying, y'all. I did not walk out. I stayed in there because them 2 girls ran out crying, screaming, crying. Ah! And so of course the adults come, what's wrong? I don't really know what they told, because I was still in the room with them. But they came in there and they were like, what's happening in here? And they asked me, did that door open? And I told them, yes, it did. That door indeed opened. I said, it opened. And they looking at us like we're crazy. So I ended up calling my mama because I had my phone. I had a cell phone at the time. And so I ended up calling my mom, and I'm like, I'm telling her what happened. She's like, well, you can't leave them. People paid all them folks for you to be there. Because I was really scared. Like, what the fuck? What is happening? And so the next day, y'all, when I tell y'all nobody was talking to her, And everybody thought she was weird. Everybody thought she was creepy, possessed. She got a demon. She's evil. You know, I'm hearing all of this. And I went to her and I said, can I tell you a secret? And she was like, yeah. She was, I'm just glad you're talking to me because everybody thinks I'm weird and this and that. And I said, can I tell you that I had an imaginary friend when I was a kid? And she was like, for real? And I was like, yes. I was like, and you want to know what his name was? She said, what? And I told her, B.O.B. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes. And although I didn't want to be the weird girl with her, I think I did end up telling, excuse me, I think I did end up telling my roommate because she was like, and I enlightened her and I told her, like, she's not weird and she's not crazy. Because if you think she's weird and you think she's crazy, then you can think the same about me. And she was like, why? Why would I think that about you? I said, because I had an imaginary friend named B.O.B. And she was like, I said, so to hear her say that, like, it really freaked me out. And so from that day, that girl, me and her were more likely seen together when we could, because like I said, we were all in different groups, and I think she actually stayed in a whole different part of the dorm, or she could even stayed in a whole different dorm, because they had all the dorms full of all of us, y'all. It was literally like a college full of third grade girls. And I think it may have some other older kids there too. And so whenever she saw me, you know, we would speak and stuff like that. But we really didn't see each other too much after that. They did a presentation or something. Y'all don't really remember because, like I said, I was third grade. So, but I do remember they fed us Jason Deli. And the only reason why I remember it was Jason Deli because that was my mama's favorite place. And she sat next to me at that because we were in the same. And she asked if she could sit next to me. And they asked me if she could because they knew that it was some weird shit going on in her dorm room. And I told them, yeah, she can sit next to me. And so we sat next to each other and stuff. Because I've never been that type of person. Like, I've never been a bully. Well, I have been a bully. I ain't gonna say I've never been a bully. But I have been a bully to one person. I would say that I bullied. But I grew up and apologized to her. And we actually ended up becoming friends. Which is a story for another time. But before that, I've never been no bully. I was always just a bullied. And so when I seen people talking about her, and you know, plus me knowing that that shit was not fake, you know, because me knowing that I have experienced and lived through some crazy things, I was like, I just couldn't in my heart let her be alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to sit next to her. I had to, when I saw her, speak to her and hug her. That's just who I am, y'all. So I'm saying that to say whenever I was being called evil and all these other things, like that really hurt, because I knew at a young age that I was none of those things. Like, I couldn't understand why people would call me evil. I couldn't understand why people would bring that when I did something they didn't like. The first thing they bring up is B.O.B. And, you know, as a kid, y'all, like, y'all taunting me as a kid. What? This doesn't even make sense. Oh, I'm like that because I used to have an imaginary friend named B.O.B. and I used to do this and do that. Y'all just can't look, God, why do you look cute? And stuff like that. And so that's crazy. But this video is getting long, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. This is not the end of this. Like I said, I didn't even get nowhere near as to why I'm bringing this up, and like, I didn't get nowhere near to half the things I have experienced. Y'all ain't gonna lie, the rest of that summer camp, because it was during the summer, I was just very like out of it, like in my head. Like, remember a lot of the time, just all I could think about was that girl and what happened. Like, we'll talk more. My next story time, we're gonna get into some more experiences that I've had as a child, as a teenager. And then probably on the third video, because that's gonna be a lot too, probably the third or fourth video, we'll get into how did all this even, like, what made me even want to come forth and tell y'all this. But yeah, that's my testimony, y'all. I'm not evil. It was just things that I was being told. That's not me. It was very hard to separate the two because I was told that at such a young age, and it's so hard to not believe something that's all you ever knew. It's on my heart right now to say, like, look, if you're grown and you're battling those childhood demons of you're not enough, you're evil, you're not gonna amount to anything, or you dream too big, or that's not realistic, fuck them. Find that child in you who had all those beliefs of other things that people couldn't understand that you believed, and work on that person and build them back up and start living through those lenses. I promise you, life is so much better when you live through the lens of the innocent you, of who you were before people decide to break you down. And that's how I try to live my life now. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're a paranormal experience survivor, because this shit can get deep. Thank God I haven't experienced no wild, crazy shit for real, because my angel came and got me. But drop your blue hearts and let us know, like, you're not the only one. And we will catch y'all on part 2. Probably be sometime next week. I'm gonna try to get this video out this week. And I'll see y'all at the next one. Thank you. Bye.